Welcome! Today we're going to go over the basics of Feltouched, and I will share a build with you to go with it. This is the first part of a series covering Feltouched tips, builds and gameplay. Like and subscribe, and leave a comment below with your questions and about what sort of a build you would like to see next. Right, with that out of the way, for those who are brand new to Ascension, what is Feltouched? It's a unique game mode that rewards PvP prowess and allows extremely fast progression. So, to go over the pros, you get leveled up to level 20 instantly. You get a 500% XP boost. You harvest the souls of other players that you kill, and you get teleported to a demon cave that becomes a new home. You airdrop into zones in the form of a Fel Inferno fireball, and you get unique quests and dailies from an NPC inside your cave that involve killing PvE creatures and also profession crafting. Now, the downside of being Feltouched: you can't use mail, you can't trade, you can't use the auction house, you're locked into high risk, and being an outlaw, all players and NPCs can and will attack you, and on death, the worst of all, you lose all your gear except the ones in your bank, and you get reset back to level 20 to start over from scratch. Right, let's jump into the game and let me show you how. So this is our gnome, Pocket Gandalf. You go and find this NPC, Stony Tark, in your starting zone. Click on him and you click on Feltouched mode. Become Feltouched. Now, as you can see, we're getting teleported over to our cave, and we're level 20. Now, first few things that are worth mentioning: you get this item in your inventory. Right now it says retrieving item information from me. Quick way to fix this if you have this bug: just open up your chat and type /reload to reload your UI. Okay, now we've got it. Fel Infused Treasure. You right click on this item and you have the option to select either one of these three dialogue options. Since we're going to be going with a spellcaster build today, I'm going to go with Cloth Intellect. Now, what this has done is it's given us some bags and it's given us items to get us started with, right? And quickly I'm going to equip this staff, which has more spell power, and I'm going to sell the other two. In fact, I'm actually going to keep this. I'm going to sell my wand. You'll see why in a second, because a build has a certain ability that does require a ranged weapon, which is Scattershot. Here's your bank, the general vendor you've already seen. You should put all your items that you deem to be important right into this bank as soon as you can, because again, you lose all your items. They all drop upon death. This is multi-purpose vendor and a class trainer. You've got your soul items here. This is the currency you get by killing other people, and you get to spend them here, either on these items. Alternatively, you can get spell tomes, which are higher level spells than you would end up with at level 60. This is your dailies and quest NPC. As you can see, these are very PvE oriented. Now, we're going to grab this one because we're going to start out in Ashenvale. We're going to kill 10 goat paw runners and 10 wild bucks. Yes, slaughter local wildlife indeed. This is your transmogrifier, and here is our portal. I click on it, it tells me I have to spend my talent points. It doesn't let you teleport until you've spent your talent points. Now, onto our build. What I'm going to do is quickly give a couple points into what we really need. We're going to start with Arcane Mage. Here you want to get Arcane Stability, because this is going to be an Arcane caster focusing on Arcane missiles, right? And you will want Arcane Concentration, 3 points into that also. You'll want Blink for mobility and escape, and for the time being this actually is all that's necessary, along with Moonfire for later use. Now, it's optional to get Moonfire damage boosting talents. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 points into this because it's a fairly nice talent. Gives you 10% critical strike chance and 10% damage on your Moonfire, which is pretty good. And on top of these, just to have a bit of an armor and slow on me, I'm going to get Frost Armor, and for a little bit of a CC, I'm going to get Frost Nova. Remember, we're PvP focused, so CC is the key. You're a caster, you are going to need at least around 6 to 7 hard CC. That's crucial. We're going to get a Psychic Scream, and we're going to need some form of mana regeneration. I'm going to get Life Tap, and to get a bit more, I'm going to get Water Shield, right? Now, the remaining ability points, there's only 2 left anyway, I'm going to get myself a heal. Now, we got, as you can see, 3 talent points left over. Remember, the portal does not let you teleport unless you spend all your talent points. But sometimes it tends to be bugged, and in this case it allows us to teleport. I'm going to save those talent points, which are crucial for latter part of my build, because most of my build is going to revolve around later level, higher tier talents. Alright, let's just double check that we've got everything set properly. This is our Heartstone with a 5-minute cooldown that brings you right back here. Okay, I think we're pretty much set. Now, as you can see, these are already ranked up. You don't have to go to the class trainer, which is currently bugged actually. Clicking on the portal already levels up all your spells for you, so it's pretty handy. Now I'm going to quickly put these to my bar. If you'd like to know about a particular setup, my action bars, all the add-ons and my saved variables are all right below in the description. Okay, let's cast it with measure. Alright, I think we're pretty much set. Yeah, there we go. Now, this is how you drop. You become a fireball and you teleport to a zone, and then you have some steering power over it. So you can steer it left and right, north, south, west, east, whichever direction you'd like to have. Now I'm going to try to steer this as further east as possible, because other mobs are closer there, the higher level ones. As you can see, it actually damaged the deer and killed it in the process. If you happen to see another player, in particular because let's say you had track humanoids, it might be a good idea to immediately land onto them if you're confident that you can kill them. I mean, it doesn't do much damage, you've seen it, it's about 100 damage or so it's not the end of the world if you can't. Now, let's kill some animals. Destroy while alive. There we go. Bear in mind, clear casting, it's going to proc a hell of a lot of time. It's ridiculous in this build. You're going to have this up almost all the time. Now I'm going to put everything into stamina, and this is essentially it. We're level 22. We have 5 talent points to spend right now. I'm not going to go back just yet, because remember, if you don't spend your talent points, at least a certain amount of them, wherever you hit this bug in the sweet spot, you won't be let back into the world. Now, let's get quickly up to level 25, which will literally take you a couple minutes tops. Look, we're already 24 as it is. Okay, getting items as well. Oh, spell power. I'll equip that. There we go. Now we're hit 25. We can comfortably go back knowing that a new tier of talents has been unlocked, and that tier is right over here. Now, actually, the only talents we're going to get this tier is going to be Torment the Weak and Shatter. That's pretty much going to be it. Oh, let's not forget the important one that we had forgotten earlier. You should actually start out with this, because it's very important to have your CC even if you're still level 20 or around level 20. You never know when you're going to run into another player, especially another Feltouched player in the world, and CC is going to help you immensely. It's going to be the differentiating factor that's deciding who the victor is going to be, right? So now, when we freeze, we're going to crit. In the case of ARCANE missiles, you know, that's just going to be a couple of the hits, but now we can comfortably go back. Alright. As you might have noticed, I haven't finished the quest yet, and there's a good reason for that, because you're going to die in this mode. It's just going to happen. It's just something you need to accept up front. The only chance of you not ending up dead is if the world's empty and the server's not really populated at a certain time within the day. Otherwise, you're probably going to die. The odds are very high. So, if you just pick up these quests, and if you can just save them for later, because as you've noticed, those mobs were around level 19. Soon enough, they're going to stop giving us experience, or they're going to yield experience that's lower than what we'll get from other mobs, therefore inefficient for the time being. Now, what you want to do is take the quests, kill as many as you need to level up normally throughout your normal course of leveling up by killing mobs. And then once you die, get back here, starting from scratch, reset to level 20, you're going to end up in Ashenvale anyway. So you're going to kill them again. Your quest progression does not get reset. Neither does the amount of gold or silver you carry. So what you want to do after each run, once you're back here, immediately sell your trash items and sell the items that you're not going to use. I know for a fact I'm not going to use these. This might be useful, but I'm going to sell the food actually. There we go. This is going to stay with us. Now, again, if you want to save any of the items, simply just put it in your bank, right? You're not going to drop it up on death. Alright, that's basically how Feltouched works. From this point onward, I'm going to keep recording this character at higher levels, especially if they're PvP encounters. I'm going to be making videos of PvP fights so you guys can see the build in action against other players. But this is it. This is how you start out as a Feltouched character. Now, you probably want to see the whole build. I'm going to show you the whole build. This is going to end up being what we get at level 60. And as you can see, we got Moonfire, Improved Moonfire, as we already have. Improved Insect Swarm. This lets your arcane damage get increased by 6% as long as you keep your Moonfire up. Very important. Earth and Moon. This is optional. I've put 2 points into it because it's extra 4% arcane damage. You could feel free to reallocate this anywhere else. We got Viper Sting to drain mana from your target. Scattershot, CC. Arcane Missiles, your main ability. Stability. This allows you to cast Arcane Missiles without suffering a pushback. Arcane Concentration, very important, because we're relying on Arcane Potency for most of our crit chance, right? The other half comes from Shatter. You will want to freeze your enemies with Frost Nova as much as possible. Alternatively, what you could do, rather than getting Earth and Moon here, you could opt for you could remove another spell, and you could opt for Ice Shield, and then put 2 points into this further also, get another source of freeze. Now, I would argue actually Shield would be good in this build. I haven't picked one personally, because this is not going to rely on you taking damage. It's all about kiting, and it's all about CCing your opponent, right? You don't want to get hit. But if you still want a buffer, some damage mitigation, you could remove one of the non-CC spells. You could perhaps even remove Gouge, even though it's a spell that I really like and it's useful. And you could run Powered Shield, for instance, or as mentioned earlier, Ice Shield. Tormentor weak, self-explanatory. We're going to be using slow, so this is going to be up all the time. We also have Frost Armor, therefore there's going to be a slow of some sort on your opponent at all times. It's 12% increased damage, just 3 talent points. It's perfect. Arcane Empowerment. The more you start building up spell power through your gear, the more this is going to become relevant. But this is a good talent because our main damage comes from Arcane Missiles. Missile Barrage, it's no-brainer. It's the main bulk of the build. Spell Power, yeah. So you get this. 50% critical strike damage bonus. You get Burnout, another 50% critical strike damage bonus on your mage spells. And judging by the fact that we get almost guaranteed crit on frozen targets, and we get Arcane Concentration procs almost all the time. It's ridiculous. We're going to be having Arcane Potency up all the time. So you're going to be dealing 2 times more the crit damage that you're already dealing right now. It's a no-brainer. Even though this is 5 points and a rather expensive talent, it's still worth it in my opinion. You could take maybe a couple points off it and put it elsewhere in this build, but I've put 5 points into it at this point. Arcane Barrage, also to proc Missile Barrage, just like Moonfire, right? Holy Light is our heal. You want a big, chunky heal to heal in between whenever necessary. You're not going to want to take damage at all, but in case if you do, just CC your opponent with many of our CCs here and heal up and reset the fight. So you have plenty of mana regeneration also. You can get mana back from your Water Shield, you can get mana back from your Life Tap, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. You have Blessing of Kings for stat boost, Divine Shield for obvious reasons, Ardent Defender again to give you a second chance in case if you're close to death. Psychic Scream, great CC. Psychic Horror, even a better CC, even though it's shorter. Considering there are lots of melee players out there with really good gear, you will want to have 10-second disarm under your sleeve. Really handy. Dispersion, a oh my god button, you know, emergency. Gouge, underrated, I would say, because 4 seconds incapacitation is a 4 seconds incapacitate, which allows you to heal up, which allows you to set up your, get yourself together, right? Reset the situation in your favor, because your opponent's going to stay exactly where they are, and they're going to remain with the same amount of HP. So you just use this and figure out how you're going to continue with the fight. It's very handy. It's just 10 seconds cooldown. It's basically up half of the time, really. It's really good. And since we don't have any damage over time effects, it's perfect. Bear in mind though, very important, this build right now I'm running Felguard just to be able to get Soul Link. You will want to macro this in a way that you call your Felguard back to you also when you cast Gouge. It's very important, otherwise it's just going to get cancelled and wasted, right? Same for Blind. You can macro all of these. I'll make a separate video covering all the macros that will be useful in this build, and you can just copy paste those and start using them. And this link to the talent calculator is also going to be down below in the description of this video. Wind Shear, you need an interrupt. You could get Kick, which is also a very viable alternative, but that's melee range. That was a deciding factor in my case. I wanted something that I could use from a bit of a distance, you know, because we would like to keep our distance in case our opponent is a melee player. Elemental Oath, increased spell critical chance, nothing shabby, it's pretty good. Totem of Wrath gives you spell power and a bit more crit chance for just 1 talent point and 2 ability essences. It's perfect. Just remember to cast it. Now, some people like to get totem calls. Since we only have a single totem in this build, unless you're planning to get more totems by modifying this build, I don't see the need for it, to be honest. But if you like using the call, be my guest. You will have to get something else off the build. Drain Soul, purely there for Firestone and Felguard. And Death Coil, perfect CC. It's amazing. It heals you back. Yes, it's on a bit of a cooldown, but 3 seconds fear, horror rather, and it deals some damage. It's really good. It's the instant emergency button, again, just like Dispersion, but in this case, it CCs your opponent. Very, very valuable in this build again. Demonic Embrace. We have Soul Link, therefore we're going to take this. It gives a tiny bit of stamina also as an added bonus, but that's not the focus. We want that extra 6% damage reduction. Again, the name of the game is avoiding damage completely, just not getting hit, kiting people, CCing them. So you could potentially reallocate these points, these 3 points elsewhere. Soul Link, obvious. Felguard, obvious, together with these. And of course Shadow Fury, it's really good CC. Alright, that pretty much sums up everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've been served Feltouched. Keep in touch.
Please clap.
So, that pretty much sums it up. Feltouched. Thanks for watching the video. There will be other videos down the line. Certainly a couple covering this particular build with PvP footage. And there you'll be able to see the build in action. Now, make sure to subscribe to the channel again and drop a like. And turn on the alarm bells to get notified once the next few videos are up. Keep in touch and stay tuned for different builds, mainly in this series focusing on Feltouched, but I'll also be making videos on the TBC Alpha Realm for the new TBC system, where there are some spell changes and some talent changes and new talents and new spells. Alright, take care and see you next time. Also, don't forget to check out the Discord channel, Twitch channel and Twitter. Links in description.